All right, friends, in studio with us, the ever debonair, the always outdressing, and the wonderfully talented Mr. Brian Johnson of Valley Mortgage. So good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Eric.
BJ, things are happening in the real estate world right now, and you are, of course, a part of the real estate world in a different kind of way. Tell the listening audience exactly what you do.
Well, we're a mortgage lender, so we provide home loans for people, analyze their finances, and kind of give them the best options available out there in the market. So we can help people with credit issues, qualifying, and finding the best program to get them into a home.
So in layman's terms, unless somebody has a whole lot of cash, they need to count on you to buy a house.
Well, we're one of the many out there, yes.
Wow, way to deliver your power punch there, BJ. That's great. Truth be told, is we were talking off air that the feds have made some changes or they've kept some things the same, and so everybody's thinking that interest rates are going to stay crazy low. What's the story?
Well, I think interest rates will stay at our similar levels that we're at now. The big misconception is the Fed kept interest rates at the same level. They didn't raise them. Looks like they may in December, but we'll see. But people think that that's going to keep long-term interest rates down. It actually has the opposite effect initially. I think if we would have seen the Fed raise interest rates, we would have seen probably a slight drop in our long-term interest rates because the economy, they feel like, will be getting back on track. I expect that we probably will see a raise either in December or I would imagine if not in December, for sure in March.
So you're saying that if a home buyer right now wants to get a loan, let's say they're going to use a conventional financing or FHA or VA financing, across the board, that's under 4%.
Yep, they are.
And you're thinking that come December, that's going to tick up a little bit.
It depends
or March.
Well, it depends on what the Fed does. I think if you see the Fed raise interest rates right away, we'll actually see a little bit of a dip for the short term in our interest rates.
Okay, so if the Fed raises interest rates, the actual interest rates that consumers have drop down momentarily.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yep.
And then they'll go up and match where the Fed is at? Is that what I'm understanding?
They'll trend to start to increase after that time period goes by, yes.
Okay. I'm in the business, and sometimes you say all these things that are like super astute and really smart, and it goes right over my head. My guess is that people probably need to talk to you to figure out the best possible way to analyze their situation. Is that a right analysis?
Yep, that would be a good deal because everybody's unique. Everybody has their own situation with their own income, their bills, what they have for down payment. So we have a lot of different options available.
Well, and that's what we want to talk about, BJ. Again, those of you just tuning in, Mr. Brian Johnson of Valley Mortgage joining us in studio. And I want to talk about people's individual situations because we know that the real estate market is strong, and for buyers, it's great. For sellers, boy, they can sell their home or refinance and take that equity and pay off all their other bills and all of a sudden have a ton of cash. But if we're talking the uniqueness of each individual situation, walk me through what it actually takes to get pre-approved, because I think a lot of people assume that they have to offer you their firstborn and a blood sample and a hair follicle of a sort, and it's really not that complicated, is it?
No, it's not. Typically, we like to look at 2 years of tax returns, a month of pay stubs, get an idea of what they have for cash available, whether it's their own savings, if they can borrow from retirement, if they're going to get a gift. A lot of those guidelines have changed now, and they've loosened up a little bit, too, since the mortgage crisis. So we're seeing more and more programs available for people to get into homes. But everybody is unique, so we can take a look at a high-level snapshot and see what people have for income to get them qualified. Maybe offer up some advice, too, on if they need to pay something down or off to qualify for the home that they want to get into.
Well, and this is maybe a general blanket statement, but wouldn't you say that most people who think they have a really high credit score are usually wrong, and people who think they have a really low credit score are oftentimes wrong as well?
That's exactly right. Yeah, people that are most worried about their credit usually have a really good score. One thing, too, that I've noticed is people that have their credit scores on their credit card, for example, or if they're using some of those credit services out there that tell them their score, they're oftentimes off by 30 to 40 points. Well, so I wouldn't put much stake in what those credit scores are, because they try to model what your credit score is after the 3 credit bureaus.
Okay.
But they're usually quite different.
So if we're looking at our bank card, or if we're looking at a credit card statement that says that you have a 700 credit score, that's wrong?
They try to mimic it, but a lot of times they're off quite a bit. Usually 30 points is roughly the average that I see that's off.
So if we're talking credit scores in general, and if somebody's had a bankruptcy or if they've dealt with a foreclosure, how long do they have to wait until they can actually buy again?
It depends on what kind of loan they're going to be, but generally if you've had, let's say, a foreclosure, you need to wait at least 2 to 3 years depending on what type of loan type you're going to do.
That's not a long time.
It's really not. Same with bankruptcy. You have to wait at least 2 years to get a FHA loan, 4 years for a conventional loan.
So if you've gone belly up and you had to get foreclosed on your home, you had a short sale, if you went bankrupt, or if you just have a shoddy credit score, realistically, there's still opportunities for you out there.
There is. And we take a look at everyone's situation. And a lot of times we offer advice on if they're not ready to buy now, we'll get them on a plan and tell them what to do so that they can get into a home down the road.
Now, you, BJ, like us as realtors, you don't get paid unless the deal closes, right?
Right.
It costs somebody $0 for them to come and to get pre-approved and to go through the process and to see all this.
Correct. We don't charge for pre-approvals.
Well, heck, we don't charge for people to come and buy or sell a house either. We just get paid when the deal closes. So sounds like people should talk to us.
That's right.
It's the perfect opportunity. BJ, how can people get in touch with you?
Call my office, 701-461-8450, or visit us online at valleymortgageinc.com.
The best dressed man in real estate, Brian Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Those of you listening, in the meantime, we're going to head to break, but go to livefargomoorhead.com and find out what your home is worth. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.